Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to day 2. So we talked about the cloud computing, AWS, and virtual machines. We created a couple of EC2 instances, EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. There are 2 C's in that. That's why they use C2, Elastic Compute Cloud. It's all about computing. So if you want a server to spin up your web server, a lot of people here are Java developers, right? So you may want to deploy your WAR file to Tomcat. So did you think about it? Hey, okay, I got my own virtual machine on the cloud. So how do I deploy my WAR file there? So the first question that should come to your mind is, okay, I have to install Java, and then I have to install Tomcat, and then drop your WAR file. How do I copy WAR file from my local machine to the newly created virtual machine? So I'm not going to show you any of that because that's very specific to a section of people. It's not related to AWS also. But I highly recommend all the developers, all the Java developers to do that. And you need a tool called WinSCP. Use this tool called WinSCP. I'll quickly show you, okay? But I'm not going to spend any time on this one. So what we'll do is, WinSCP helps you connect to the machine, okay? So you can watch this video and do it at home later. So let me show you. So this is what I'm trying to do here. First thing, before we talk about other concepts, right? So I will create a new EC2 instance right now, install Apache again. And then I will show you how to connect to that using WinSCP. You do that on your own. And in that process, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Okay. So if any of you have not done the homework, this is the best time to watch me do it. It takes hardly 5 minutes. Okay, let's go to EC2. I'm in Ohio region here. US East Ohio. This is the region. And as I told you before, Northern Virginia is the first region that AWS was made available. So when AWS releases any new concepts, Northern Virginia is typically the first region that it goes to. So if you want the bleeding edge, any new services, absolutely, then go for Northern Virginia. That's the best place to start. But for all intensive purposes, all the regions are kind of same for what we do. Anyways, so let's go ahead and launch an instance. Okay, I'll take free tier eligible only. So this time, pay attention to what we are trying to do. I know yesterday we did it in, first time you did it, little rush. That's fine. But so what we selected here is that we are selecting an AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. So we are going to create our own image today, and I'll tell you more about it. But you're selecting the first one. It's a general purpose T2 micro. As we talked about it, there are a lot of types here. Okay, based on the work that you do, you select the appropriate type of EC2 instance, configure instance details. And this is where subnet, right? So I'm in Ohio region, and let's take a look at how many regions, how many availability zones are there. There are 3 availability zones in Ohio region. There are 6 availability zones in Northern Virginia. Again, each availability zone is a dedicated data center or couple of data centers together act as one single entity. And all these availability zones within a single region are connected through Amazon's own backbone internet. So it gives very low latency. So it doesn't go through the public internet. So that's why we are going to see today I'm going to spin one EC2 instance in 2A, the another one in 2B, one more in 2C. Okay, so they're all sort of interconnected, but they're all independent. Okay, they're connected through the low latency network, but they're completely independent in a way that if something happens in one availability zone, the other two availability zones are not affected. That is the main idea behind this. If something goes wrong in Cleveland, Ohio, I don't want my application to be down. I want that still to be available. So that's why I'm going to distribute my application servers across all the availability zones. We'll talk about the best practices and what's the cloud architecture and HA architecture, high availability architecture. We'll talk about all of that. So anyways, so I'm going to, this is how I can select, if I want my EC2 instance to be in a specific availability zones, I can select it. Let's do it in 2B. And then, okay. Let's add storage. Okay. Now, in the previous section about the compute, we talked about 1 GB here, right? We talked about 1 virtual CPUs and 1 gig RAM. And then in this specific availability zone, we're going to do that. Now we are attaching, yes.
So quick question. So can you, when you're starting, instead of Ohio, can you, you can select Virginia if you want to, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, in fact, I gave you the homework, right? To create a brand new EC2 instance in Singapore region. Change it here and then go to EC2. You will find out that all the security groups are region specific. All of your key pairs are region specific. Okay, all the EC2 instances that you are creating are region specific.
Okay, but so, as you said, since Virginia is going to have the latest updates, will not everybody try to create everything in Virginia only, correct?
Again, as I said, bleeding edge. So for all, there are about 2,400 to 2,500 services out there, right? If any brand new service that's out there, okay, no, they don't do it, because if my clientele, all of my clients are around in this Midwest region, Michigan, Ohio region, then I'll go with Ohio.
Okay. Okay.
I don't need the bleeding edge service. And this is, again, the reason I said that is because Northern Virginia happens to be the first region. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but they'll propagate it eventually to all of them. They'll just experiment it out there.
Okay.
Okay. So for all the regular purposes,
Venkat, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no worries. No.
Yeah, I have a quick question. So in one region, like suppose based on the number of users using the application, suppose I want to deploy it like 10 to 20 servers, how do I know how many servers my application is going to be deployed? Like depends upon the server, depends on the region. Suppose in Ohio, Cleveland, suppose if the more users are using the application, and in Northern Virginia only less users are using. So how do I know how many servers are available in that particular region?
How many servers are available?
In a region means we need some servers, right? Like
so region is a geographical region, right? Within the region. So region is not anything physical there. It's just a logical entity. Okay. So within a region, you have availability zones. These availability zones are the actual data centers. That's where your servers are going to sit.
Yeah. How do I know how many servers my application is deployed? Only one server?
Oh, no. That is up to us, right? We are going to do that. So I will show you today.
Okay, sorry about that.
I will show you today. So this is the first EC2 instance, right? So we are going to deploy a couple more EC2 instances. We are going to provision a couple more EC2 instances within Ohio region, and we are going to create a load balancer in the front. Okay,
Okay,
I'll
got
show you
it.
that. Click on add tags. I'm not creating any tags. And the security group. Do I have any security groups out there? Looks like I have this my security group, and port 22 is open to everybody. Is it recommended? Port 22 is open to everybody. No. Port 80 can be open to everybody. Yes. If you're wondering what this one is, port 80 is open to o.o.o.o/o, and port 80 is open to this guy also, ::/o. Do you know what this one is? Anybody? The top one is IPv4 addresses, and the below one is IPv6 addresses. So it's open to all IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. That's what it means. So the port 22, it's not recommended, but that's not the point I wanted to show here. Okay, I have my new key pair. I'll use it. So this is what I gave you the homework, right? Of course, select a specific region and do that. You know, it takes 2 minutes. So while the instance is coming up, I wanted to show you this. Okay, so the instance is running now. So this is what I wanted to show you guys, okay? So once you get this one now, what do you typically do? You'll go to PuTTY or your terminal in Mac and then try to connect to it, right? There is another nifty way you can connect to it. And this was not available before, and I happened to find out last night, trust me, okay? So that's how AWS releases these new concepts almost every month, okay? So select here and click on Actions and then click on Connect. Mm-hmm. See, it's showing you a standalone SSH client. This is how you connect to it. I mean, it's understood. There's a concept called Session Manager. You'll have to install a client on the EC2 instance for it to work. So I'm not that excited about it. But the third one, here, EC2 instance connect a browser-based SSH connection. The beauty is, since you're logged into your management console, it's automatically letting you connect here. Look at it. It's a browser-based. Can it be any cooler than that? So you don't need any SSH client like PuTTY, like terminal. You're already logged in, but it's in the browser. You are in that virtual machine right now. So let me escalate my privileges. I'm root user now. I can do all of that.
Oh, that's cool.
Seriously.
Okay.
So
it was same as Signal then.
I've never done this one. I found out only last night while I was messing with it. So I updated my operating system and let me install my web server. Let me go ahead and start it. Started my web server. I'll make sure it's working. It's running. Well, it's running. Now, let me go to var www HTML. This is where Apache expects the HTML files to be. And then it looks for a file called index.html by default if you don't give an HTML file. So the another one is I observed a lot of people are not comfortable with using VI. VI is a little tough, editor. So don't worry about it. Use this little one called Nano index.html. It's a simple text editor. So here you can do This is from browser-based SSH client. Okay. After this one, all you have to do is Control X. Okay, and then it's asking you to save modified buffer. Yes, save Y, and then enter. That's all. You're done. Anybody can do this one. So please use Nano if you're not comfortable using VI. I recommend that because you don't want to learn VI now. Okay, I don't want you to struggle. So it's a simple find out index.html. You can cat it. There you go. Okay, now I didn't have to use Putty or anything to connect to it. I used based SSH client. It's really cool. Okay.
Venkat, a quick question. I missed that part. When you just click on that, by default, it take you to the page where you have already connected to that the client. I mean SSH client. I mean, where is the first place that you are landing on that?
Oh, it's.
Is it working like just like a terminal window, or maybe it connected you to that instance and you're within that? I mean, you are already SSH to that instance.
No, I did not do anything. You can practice it right now. I mean, in a few minutes. Click on Actions, Connect, the third option, and then select your username. Who do you want to do it as? Do you want to do it as root? Then directly do it here. Okay, you don't need to do sudo su, right? You don't have to escalate the privileges. Directly you can say that you have your connect me as root. Just click on connect, and you are logged into the virtual machine as root. That is really cool.
Okay, this is my question. Yeah, I think I got it now. So you are connected only to the, I mean, through this particular window, you will be allowed only to go into that virtual machine. I mean, not beyond that. You can't just connect to your local file system or anything. Yeah. Okay.
No. This
got it. That makes sense.
Like your Putty.
Yeah, that makes.
Okay, this is your like web-based SSH client, a browser-based SSH client, something that I have not heard before. It's super cool.
Putty, but only for that instance, right? So I mean,
of course. Yeah. Putty does the same thing, right? You'll have to connect to that particular instance, right?
I mean, along with that, you can go to any other instance too. I mean, you can just come back and you can just do anything in your local system too. But this won't allow you. This will restrict you to just
Oh, absolutely. But you can do the same thing here, right? Let's say this is my second EC2 instance. Go and connect it.
Yeah, got it.
Makes sense, right?
Is it possible to connect? I mean, select multiple instances over there?
That's a good question. I don't know. May not, but this is terminated, right? We'll find out. We'll find out in a minute. So this is the first one anyway. So index.html, right? So yep, what am I looking for? I'm looking for my public DNS name. This is my public DNS name. Copy it, copy to clipboard, and then go here. There you go. This is from browser-based SSH client. There can be anything simpler than this, in all fairness. So I wanted to share this. This is super cool. Okay, so please use it. You don't need to use your Putty, terminal, any of that. Okay, no messing with the PPK file, PEM file, because you're learning essentially here, right? So for learning, this is beautiful. Any questions?
So this is Srinivas. So you don't need Puttygen also, then you don't need a conversion.
No,
anything.
You don't need conversion. No, you don't need any of that. You are directly connecting.
That's good. So there is one more question, Venkat. So all this, what we are doing right now, I can think of at my workplace. It's all admin's work right now. So who will do this in a real environment?
That's a good question. So Srinivas's question is, we are creating a virtual machine. So this is not, being a developer, I don't typically do this. My admins do it. His middleware admin does it. So that was the case all along, Srinivas. Okay. But now, especially with the DevOps world, okay, pretty much there's no gap between developer and operations, development team and operations team, right? You both should be able to do both. So being a developer, yes, you can provision this EC2 instance and take it all the way to production. Well, will your enterprise allow you to do that? Not really, without some principles. They will put their own gates, but absolutely you can. And a lot of companies are allowing you to do it also, especially with the DevOps. Pretty much you don't need a separate middleware team. Operations team should be able to code it, and development team should be able to provision the instances and deploy the code on their own. Absolutely. This is the new trend, right? I mean, not in 2020, but for the last few years, that's what we've been observing. And that is the reason, unfortunately, or fortunately, there's no system admin's job. Jobs like manual QA and system admins they'll be gone.
Okay, good.
There's no reason to have people just to deploy your piece of WAR file into servers. You can do it. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. And being an architect, and I keep stressing that one. You are thinking like an architect. You are not a developer here. Okay. And so you are responsible for end-to-end architecture, including the infrastructure. Absolutely. You can after this course, pretty much you sharpen it and go apply as an infrastructure architect too. Anyways, okay. So I wanted to show that. Let's take a look at a couple of other aspects here. So go do that. Not right now, but so using Nano is another trick. Okay, so people who are not comfortable with VI, so please use Nano. It's pretty fast. Okay, let's take a look at, let's watch this instance closely now. We had our hands dirty. So this is our public DNS name. We know what it is. This is the computer user-friendly name, automatically generated name. And this is your public IP. So this is your public IP. Copy this guy and then try going to this one. And it's going to port 80. Absolutely. Your public IP works. But please do not rely on this public IP, because this IP can be reassigned anytime. So please do not rely on that. Later on, we will talk about a concept called Route 53, where you'll create your own website and then attach these IPs. Okay, so this is your instance state is running, and your instance type is T2 micro. You know that this is your private IP. We'll talk about more of this in later. Virtual private cloud. There is a separate concept called virtual private cloud. We'll talk more about that. And so this is the key pair that's used. My new key pair is what is attached to this particular virtual machine. And this is when it was launched. This is the virtualization. There are two kinds of virtualizations, and we are using hard drive virtual machine. There are two of them. This is a hard drive based virtual machine. Okay, this is a reservation, and this is this is a root device. Let's talk about that. So this is your EC2 instance, and let me move this side, right side here. This is my key pair. This is monitoring is disabled. Okay, this is my security group. Okay, this is the security group attached, and you can click on that. You can find out the inbound rules here. See, inbound rules. So port 80 is open to everybody, both IPv4 and IPv6, and port 22 is open to everybody. This is not a good practice, but that's what it is right now. Okay, so this is a virtual machine with 1 gig RAM and one virtual core, and a hard disk is attached to that. That hard disk attached to the computing, to your computer or to your virtual machine, okay? That is called volume. Please go into the volume in Elastic Block Store, click on volumes here. So this particular virtual machine is attached. A hard disk is attached to the virtual machine, and that hard disk is called volume. Okay, if you want to find out more on this volume, this is what it is. So see this one, and you just provision this EC2 instance, right? You know that it's a 8 gig storage, and GP2, this is a general purpose SSD type of hard disk, okay? And the number of IOPS stands for input output per second. So this particular SSD drive gives you 100 input output per second. So that tells you how fast you can write into the hard drive. Okay, 100 is okay. There is a second type, there is another type called provisioned IOPS, provisioned IOPS. Provisioned IOPS is really good for something like database application, something like database servers. So database is going to write several transactions per second, right? So use provisioned IOPS for that. So it gives you a lot of input output per second. So it's you can write pretty fast. Okay, this is a snapshot, and this is an availability zone US East 2B. So this is what I need to tell you. And this is a very good exam tip, typically asked in Solutions Architect Associate. If your EC2 instance in one availability zone and this EBS volume, EBS stands for Elastic Block Store, okay? EBS is nothing but a hard disk attached to your EC2, okay? So your EBS volume should also be in the same availability zone, because you don't want to have your processor in one availability zone and hard disk in a different availability zone, and you expect it to be, you know, high performant. You cannot. Does it make sense? So your EC2 instance and EBS volume, both of them must be in the same availability zone. They cannot be in two different availability zones within the region. Make sense?
So why do they allow that, Venkat, then in that case? Is there any special need where we need to, that needs to be in separate zone?
Separate availability, no, you cannot. So what I'm saying is they don't even allow it.
No, they won't allow, yeah. Okay.
Absolutely, they do not allow. Okay. And by default, this one, we call it root device volume. This one, we call it root device volume. Root device volume is where your operating system is installed. And you want, obviously, this to be as close to your computing resource as possible, meaning your processor, RAM, and everything. Make sense? Of course, I'm going to show you later that how can I attach external hard drive to this one? Okay, we'll talk about that. You know, where can I write my files? You know, I want to write files somewhere like an external hard drive, so that all of my EC2 instances want to get access to that particular file. I'll show you later. But Elastic Block Store, EBS volumes, you cannot have it in a separate availability zone. It must be in the same availability zone as EC2 instance. That's a very, very, very important point for the exam. The status checks. This is at the EBS status checks. Let's go back. Let's go back to EC2 for a second. Click on this guy, go to status checks. So this is your status checks of your EC2 instance, and you have two kinds of status checks. One is system status checks. This is at the physical machine level. One physical machine will house several virtual machines, correct? The system status checks is at the physical machine level. If something goes wrong with the hypervisor, you will have to restart your EC2 instance. So this will give you any system level issues. And the instance status check, this one will give you anything specific to your instance and the applications running on your instance. Like if something goes wrong with your operating system, okay, then that kind of issues will be shown here in the instance status checks. And the monitoring, there you go. So monitoring, so you have your server here, your virtual machine here, and then this by default, this is a default level monitoring. You will get it every 1 hour, okay? But you can enable detailed monitoring that will give you each minute. So this is the CPU utilization. This is the disk reads, disk read operations, disk writes, etc. So you can take a look at it, how your CPU utilization is going on. It only gives you so much. If you want to find out how much RAM is utilized on this particular CPU and all, you have to customize it. You have to customize your performance metrics, and you don't have to worry about it for solutions architects. There is another certification out there called network admins. That's for operations, SysOps admins. So they need more on that. So you don't have to worry about it. But please understand that there is you can monitor at the CPU level, and you can you can monitor your read write IOs, and you can also monitor your memory. And then there is a concept called CloudWatch. I'll show you a demo on CloudWatch later, but understand this: CloudWatch alarms. CloudWatch is a guy who is looking at your instance, and then if anything goes wrong, let's say your CPU utilization goes above 80%, and you want to be alarmed, you want to get notification on your cell phone, on your email and everything, you can do that. You will have to configure your alarms, CloudWatch alarms. CloudWatch is an Amazon AWS service that will look at the performance of your EC2 and other services. It's not just for EC2. It's a lot of other services also. CloudWatch is a performance watch. Okay, so you can watch your CPU utilization, RAM utilization, read writes, and a lot of other things. And you can get notification also. So later on, I will show you a demo.
Venkat.
Yes.
So it does the monitoring on the host basis, but it cannot monitor the application base. Can it monitor on application base too, or just the host base?
That's a good question. Actually, we can have monitors on that one also. Yes. So not for the CloudWatch, but later I'll show you how do we do the health checks on your own application. Let's say you have your web server, right?
Yes.
So I want to get notified when web server goes down, or we can automate a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you some of it today and some later. Okay.
Yep. Just I want to make sure if there are services running and services overwhelmed, or
Yep.
something resource overwhelmed.
Yep. I'm going to show you probably with an example later. Okay, so that's about monitoring and CloudWatch. There are two concepts, CloudWatch and CloudTrail. I'll talk about that later, CloudTrail. So without any delay, what we will do is, let's connect to our server. I want to do something cool here. Let's connect using browser-based, directly do root. Okay. Since I'm comfortable with VI, I'll use it. So here I'm going to add another heading to second level heading. This is right before taking a snapshot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a snapshot of my hard disk. Okay. Let's go take a look at it. First, let's make sure it's going good.
Venkat, what does LS stand for?
LS is a list.
Okay.
It's just listing out all the files within that folder.
Okay.
LS. So if you want to do ls minus lrt, it gives you all the details about it. So what's the permissions on it and how many bytes is it, and time it was modified, etc. Okay.
So, hey Venkat.
Yes.
So how can I mean you're logging with root, but root is very dangerous, right? Like you guys, if and when you, I mean, I understand that the whole DevOps concept, giving access development team, but again, we don't because nowadays in any organization, yes, development quality environments, we are kind of giving access to everyone, but for production systems, we don't do that.
Yep.
Because that's where the whole infrastructure team comes in.
Yep. I'm with you. By no means I'm saying this is the best way to do it. Actually, every single command, sudo su, right? Pretty much sudo su. That's the most dangerous command in my opinion, because I know some people did it rm minus rf / meaning it wipes out the complete hard disk. So it's a very dangerous command. Absolutely. I get it. And I agree with you. Okay.
So my question is, can we restrict that root access?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you must do it for all production systems. You must do it. And we didn't talk about IAM yet, Identity and Access Management. Okay. In fact, you are logged into your Amazon AWS console as a root account with your email ID and password. You don't want to do it. Actually, you'll have to create a new users. Probably we'll see, depends on the time. See here, we'll have to create a new users and do it. And then, you can absolutely restrict your root access, and you must do it in all, for all production systems.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. So the point I wanted to show is, at this point, my EC2 instance has a hard disk attached to it, and that hard disk has, of course, my bootable, operating system. And there I installed my Apache, and there I have an index.html, and that index.html shows this. This is right before taking a snapshot. Now what I want to do is, I want to go to my volumes here. This is my hard disk, right? I want to take a snapshot of it. So what exactly taking a snapshot? Taking a snapshot is nothing but taking a copy of that hard disk at that point of time. At this point, all the files, whatever is out there in the hard disk, will be taken a copy of it and put it out there. Okay. By default, it's the snapshot is written in S3. That's another Amazon service. Simple storage service. We'll talk about that probably in the next class or so. Okay. So I'm taking a snapshot of my hard drive. So I'll say my first snapshot.
Is this something like a backup that
yes,
that happens? Okay.
Yep. I'm taking it now. Mm-hmm. I'm not. This is a manual backup. This is equivalent to manual backup. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have taken a snapshot of my volume and created a snapshot. Go to snapshots here, and it's writing there. So it's taking a copy of my hard drive, my volume. That happens to be a root volume also. And then I'm creating a snapshot. It takes a minute or so. So what is my intention here? What am I trying to do? Well, what I'm trying to do is I'll create the copy of my hard disk Okay, with this one, I'm going to create a boatable image. We call it Amazon machine image. Okay, we'll create that. And then using that Amazon machine image, I'm going to spin, or I'm going to provision a brand new EC2 instance that will have my web server installed and my index.html, everything that I did. I don't have to do it again. So in production or in your enterprise, right? This is how you use it. So let's say your architecture, I mean, you are part of the architecture team, and you guys worked hard and then find out your golden application server. Let's say Tomcat and Apache combination. Okay. So you installed it, you hardened all the services on it, and then you brought it to a gold state. Hey, you can say that, hey, this is a well, thoroughly tested Tomcat. Okay. And now go create a snapshot. And from that snapshot, you are going to create an Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image is nothing but instructions to create subsequent EC2 instances. So I got the snapshot here. Take a look at it. You will do it on your own in a minute, and then you will understand what I'm saying here. You got the snapshot, go to actions. Oops, sorry. You have a snapshot here, right?
Venkat?
Actions, yes.
So can you schedule to create the snapshot creation automatically?
You can do that. Yep, you can do that. We will talk about it when we talk about RDS, Relational Database Service. At that time, I'm going to show you how you can set up automatic backups of your database. How frequently you can take the snapshots, and
Okay.
There is a difference between backup and snapshot. I'll talk about that one also. Backup is nightly, and then snapshots are incremental. After you take an initial backup, every snapshot, when you take it after 5 minutes, right? Let's say now it's 9 o'clock, 9:05, the next snapshot is taken, let's say, okay? What it's going to do is all the changes that happen within that 5 minutes, it's going to take it and put it aside. And then again, 9:10, a new snapshot will be taken. So all the actions that are taken, or all the files that are touched during that period, within that 5 minutes, it's going to take a backup of that. We'll look at that.
So I mean, just for my understanding, or based upon my experience, there is a fundamental difference between snapshot and a backup. Snapshot is not a backup. My understanding is.
Snapshot is not a, that's correct. So snapshot is not a backup. Backup is taken automatically on a nightly basis. Okay. Snapshot is incremental. Backup is not incremental. Backup is you're taking a complete hard copy of it and put it aside. The subsequent changes are taken as a snapshots, meaning they're taken incrementally. Does it make sense? So I'll show you probably. Take a look at this one. There's no better way to explain this than these guys. Amazon itself. See this one? Initially, your volume has 10 gig, okay? And you're taking it snapshot. You take the complete 10 gig. And later, your 6 gig was unchanged, but something you modified within this 4 gig. Next, when you take the next snapshot, only that 4 gig is touched. The 6 gig, it will reference the previous one. So it's not going to copy that as is. And next time, when you take by the time you take a third snapshot, only 2 gigs have been touched. Only those 2 gigs are taking, see that? Only those 2 gigs are taking a copy of it. The remaining 2 gig are referenced here, and remaining 6 gig are referenced from here. So snapshots are incremental.
So you can use all the 3 snapshots together to recreate the drive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, you don't have to do any of that. When you take a third snapshot, right? The third snapshot has all the information to recreate the latest one. You don't need to do any manual work. You don't have to do that, select all these 3 and then say recreate it. No, your snapshots C, the third one, has all the information to be able to recreate it without losing any data. Does it make sense? So snapshots are the copy of the databases, copy of the hard disks at a point in time, guys. Okay, now I got the snapshot. Now what I'm going to do is, with this snapshot, I got my hard disk snapshot, and now I'm going to create an image here. So this image, take a look at it. Image is nothing but set of instructions. It's going to tell you what is the architecture. Is it x86 64 architecture? What's your root device name? Your RAM disk ID, okay. Kernel virtualization type, whether it's a hardware assisted virtualization or is a paravirtual. Not all EC2 instance types support, both of them. So some EC2 instance types support paravirtual, and some of them supports hardware assisted virtualization. For all intensive purposes, please select hardware assisted virtualization, so that a lot of EC2 instance types will be supported. Okay, so my snapshot, I'm creating an image with this snapshot here, and then I'm calling it as my Golden Web Server. I'll call it my Golden Apache. Okay, meaning this particular snapshot automatically comes with Apache installed with my index.html automatically. You don't have to do anything. I'll give the same description. Create it. Guys, does it make sense, or any questions there? This is, what did we just create? We created a snapshot from a hard disk volume, and from snapshot, we created an Amazon machine image. That Amazon machine image has a capability to spin off your EC2 instance from that particular image. Does it make sense?
So it's running now 2 instances now?
Let's go back. No, you have created an image. Image is nothing but a template. Image is nothing but like a blueprint. Using the blueprint, you can build as many buildings as possible, right? If you have a building's blueprint, take the blueprint and you create 1,000 buildings there. Does it make sense? So all you created is a blueprint for your EC2 instance. So there is still only one instance running, but now go to here, see here, images, AMIs. So this is my AMI.
Okay. What's the difference between, sorry, I missed it. What's the difference between snapshot and Amazon machine image? What exactly did we change between the two?
Yep. So can you guys mute? I see here some background noise somewhere. Be watchful of that. Okay. So snapshot. Snapshot is a copy of your hard drive. Okay. But you cannot create an EC2 instance directly from your snapshot, because that has just a hard drive that doesn't have any piece of information. If you want to create an EC2 instance, you need to know what kind of virtualization you need to use. Okay. And what's the architecture? What's your hardware architecture? Is it x86, 64-bit or 32-bit architecture? So I'm talking about the hardware architecture. So you need to specify all of that. You don't have any of that. So your Amazon machine image has all that information in a small file. Okay, it's like a blueprint file. And once you have the Amazon machine image, of course, your AMI will also reference to your snapshot, saying that this is the hard disk that I want to attach when somebody creates a EC2 instance. So Amazon machine image is nothing but a set of instructions set of instructions to be able to create an EC2 instance from it. So I'll show you now. Go to EC2 dashboard What did we create when we launch an EC2 instance here? Take a look at this one. What did we create here? So this is an AMI. This is an Amazon machine image. So if you take this image, you will automatically, you're automatically getting your 64 or 64-bit on this kind of architecture. And this is standard SSD volume, and your Amazon Linux 2 AMI is what you are getting it. That particular operating system is what you're getting it. So let's say I want Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, then I will select this one. When I select this AMI, it is attached to a snapshot that has Red Hat Linux, Enterprise Linux in it. So I can select this one and I can create an EC2 instance that exactly matches. So Geeta, what she did is, she's a very good WordPress developer, PHP WordPress developer. And then what she did is she created a beautiful, WordPress template. They call it themes. Okay, with the beautiful themes, she has all the necessary building blocks. Let's say she has a PHP, she has MyPHP admin, she has a MySQL there, she has Apache installed, she has Linux installed, everything. So she did all the hard work. Okay, she installed everything manually on her EC2 instance. And then she created an Amazon machine image now. So what it means is, and she can put it in the marketplace. There is a concept here called AWS Marketplace. This is like an app store, and you can go sell your Amazon machine images. So what happens is, when somebody creates an EC2 instance from that particular Amazon machine image, they're getting automatically everything related to that. All of your hard work is paid off. Pretty much, I don't have to do anything. Does it make sense? Geeta, did I answer your question?
Yes, Venkat, thank you.
So now using, now I created my AMI, right? So let's go to running instances. I can launch my EC2 instance in two ways. One, I can go to launch instance and then click on my AMIs and select, this is my Golden Apache. Okay, this is on top of my Amazon Linux. And then if I select this guy, okay, and if I put that one on a T2 micro compute resource, and sure, I don't need to select any subnet, add storage. See, by default, it is taking this snapshot, D9B8, right? So we'll take a look at, I'll open one more browser here. Take a look at this. Click on snapshots here. See this guy here? 0D9B8. 0D9B8. It's the same snapshots. So this snapshot is getting attached to this one with the same architecture that we specified, same configuration as we specified in the Amazon machine image. Now click on add tags and then security group. I'll use the existing security group, my security group, and review and launch. Go ahead and launch it. I want you to watch what happens now. So we have taken a bare bone EC2 instance, okay? And then we installed all the operating system level patches, yum update. And then we installed Apache. And on top of it, we created an index.html. We created that, we have taken that whole hard disk, created a snapshot. From snapshot, we created an AMI. From AMI is nothing but a blueprint or template, right? So from that template, I created a brand new EC2 instance. Now, we'll wait for a minute. Once it comes up, you log into that, you will see, okay, let's go ahead and connect to it. I'm only using now browser-based. I'll use root, not a big deal. Okay, so let's go to, oh, by the way, do this yum update. See this one, loaded plugins, extra suggestions, no packages marked for update. Why? How come no security patches or no operating system level patches? Because we did it.
Yep, it's already.
We already did it on the previous previous volume, right? We created the snapshot from that volume. So now let's go to var HTML. Let's take a look at this index.html. I'll use either cat or less index.html. See this? This is from browser-based SSH client. Who created this? Did you understand? So we didn't do any of this. But we have taken the hard drive. Okay, so what we did was we have taken bare minimum, just brand new clean slate EC2 instance, hardened it and created, installed Apache, and then we deployed our application and take a backup of that, take a snapshot of that. From snapshot, we created an image. From image, we provisioned a brand new EC2 instance, and there you go. It automatically came. I didn't create any of that, right? So let's make sure Apache is running. It may not be, because obviously it doesn't start. Your Apache has been installed, okay? Because it's there at the in the hard disk. But service, you have to start it. So I'll say service HTTPD start. Okay, now I have two machines. So this was created at 9:08. I'm taking this public DNS. There you go. So both of them are identical now. Even if you want, you can take this guy. There you go. Okay, makes sense? And an additional point I wanted to make here. So go to snapshots now. Not snapshots, actually, let's log into the first EC2 instance. The top one. Okay, let me go to the first, let me connect to the first guy. Someone asked, I think Uma asked to see if multiple can be connected at once. Let's see. Okay, looks like answer is no. Connect. Now, I'm going to add an additional H3. Or I'll just change this guy. This is after taking a snapshot. I'll call this. So I changed it. I changed my index.html. Let's go check if it reflected or not. Why not? Okay. 172, 31, 19, 141. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. So let's go. Okay. So what I did is Control-Shift-R. So earlier it was loaded from my browser cache. So it did not go to server. So what I did is Control-Shift-R. Control-Shift-R will force the browser to go to server. It doesn't use the local cache. So this is after taking a snapshot. So this is the original server. Now I updated it. My hard disk has a new change. But what do you think will happen to the second one? The second guy will remain the same. This is my second one. Control-Shift-R. Yep, this is still the old. So did you understand? So what my point here is that snapshot is a copy of the hard disk that was taken at that point, at a point in time. So the changes that are made to the original hard disk after you would taken snapshot will not be reflected automatically. So you will have to take a brand new snapshot again, and then it will be reflected. Does it make sense? You're taking a copy, that's all. It's, it's a simple concept. Make sense, everybody?
So Venkat, maybe it's obvious. We can create a new image out of the second one, right? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can absolutely create it. And there is since you asked that, right? Now I'll show you a second way to create an image. So this is the second guy.
So we don't really need snapshot to create a new image. We can still create this image using the current running instance, right, Venkat? Or it's
Yep, I'm showing you a second way, but behind the scenes, it will create a snapshot. There is no way, because Amazon Machine Image is not your data. It's just a set of instructions. Does it make sense? The hard disk, the behind the scenes volume will be taken as a snapshot only. So I will show you a second way. I'll explain this. So this is my second guy. Okay. Yes.
So here 2 instances are there, right? So how do I know which one is the original one? Do I need to remember that instance ID every time to know, okay, this is from the snapshot and this is the original one? I mean, by seeing this screen. What I mean.
Right. Why do you need to?
Suppose today I took one snapshot and tomorrow I install so many things again on the original and I want to take the snapshot again.
Yep.
So like the 10 instances are there. So or tomorrow I want to expose only the 5th instance to the users. So
right.
How do I?
You can give names too, right? Yeah. Venkat will not use the tag. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Tagging is the best way to go about. See here, tags, you give your names. So create a new tag, say, this is my server 2, right? Copy from server 1. This is my second guy, right?
Okay.
And this is my, create a new tag, name original. This is my original and this is my copy. Of course, if it's just a name tag, then you can write it here also directly. You don't need to go tags. But if you want to put it any other piece of information, something like source original. I can add source to this guy as a snapshot. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thanks.
Okay, so now this is original. This is copy from original. So now I wanted to show you a second way of creating an Amazon Machine image. So take the second guy and then say actions. Now image, create image. You can do this. So here also, so this is your bagged hard drive, meaning this is your volume. Okay, so volume is nothing but attached hard disk drive. It's as simple as that, guys. Okay. And volume type, understand here, general purpose SSD, provisioned IOPS SSD, and magnetic. So general purpose SSD is what, you'll use it for your general purposes like your web servers and such. Provisioned IOPS, very expensive one, but it gives you a lot of IOPS, input output per second. Okay, this is great for your database. And the magnetic, this is a cheaper version, your old style, previous generation hard disk drives. Okay. Anyways, so let me create an image. Image from second instance. Create image. Now let's go to EC2 dashboard. And then where are my AMIs? Okay, the second AMI is getting created, and please go to take a snapshots and take a look at this one. It is creating a snapshot. When you create an Amazon machine image from your EC2 instance also, because AMI, I used to think AMI is like that's the complete hard drive, that's my complete snapshot. I used to get confused. No, snapshot is a real copy of your hard drive. Amazon machine image is just a set of instructions that are needed to create next EC2. That's how. What kind of architecture, hardware architecture it is, and what kind of RAM, etc. RAM type. That's not even RAM. Okay, so this is your snapshot created, and go to EC2 AMIs. This is my second AMI image from second instance. Select it. There is a second way to do it. So earlier I showed it to you that go to running instances and launch instance, and then go to my AMIs and you can select it. Okay, that's one way to do it. Or you can go from AMIs, select your AMI, and then say launch. So select your AMI and then say launch. It will automatically show you that. Okay, I'm kicking off my T2 Micro instance details. Well, add storage. It will automatically bring up that second snapshot gun. Add tags, I don't do it. Use my existing security group, review launch. Use my piece of cake.
So Venkat.
Yes.
Since you are launching this AMI from the second image, which is part of that snapshot, yes, so it is selecting that snapshot. If you create an AMI from the original, because the original will not have a snapshot, right? The original instance is allocated storage, like the volume groups. I mean, does it take a snapshot when you're creating a AMI from the original?
You got it. When you create an Amazon machine image from EC2 instance, what you are saying is that, hey, I want to be able to create an EC2 instance any point, right? Then it has to take the snapshot of that particular hard disk attached to that particular EC2 instance. So it will do it automatically for you. You don't have to do it. Did I answer your question?
So that means I don't really need to create a snapshot and create a meshing. I
You
can
got
still
it.
AMI,
You totally got it.
Following all those two steps process and directly create a snapshot plus image.
You totally got it. You totally got it. So you don't have to create a snapshot exclusively or explicitly, okay, to create a brand new EC2 instance. You can directly create an Amazon machine image from a running instance, okay, which will automatically create a snapshot. But they are two different concepts, right? I want you to understand the difference here. I'm creating a snapshot doesn't mean that I will create an AMI and my intention is not to create an EC2 instance. I'm just taking a copy of my hard drive. That's what I mean. Does it make sense?
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, see, unless until you want a copy, you will create AMI. But if you don't really need AMI, if you just want to take a backup or, I mean, not a backup snapshot for that particular scenario, yes. And my one quick question here. So when you take a snapshot, will the application will be so consistent? I mean, in a small application, I understand that, but if it's a heavy applications where it has like 12 terabyte storage or 15 terabyte storage, running system, taking a snapshot from a running system or not keeping in a backup mode or something like that, will that be consistent?
Okay, you hit the real, one of the popular questions on Solutions Architect Associate Certification. So the preferred way is to stop the instance and take the snapshot. You don't want to do it. Actually, when you take a snapshot while it is running, during that period, whatever happens, the data integrity cannot be guaranteed by Amazon. Does it make sense? So you want to stop. The best way to do it is, so go take your running instance, let's say the original guy, okay? Go to actions, instant state, stop it, okay? And now take the snapshot.
Okay.
Because application is not writing anything to the hard disk. Now is the best time. Once the stopping is done, then will be the best time to take the snapshot from the backed hard drive. Does it make sense?
Yeah, okay, it's like typical VMware concept then.
Yep.
Again, you know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's the same concept everywhere.
So when we stop the application here, I'm sorry if I'm confusing too much, but again, I just want to, if we are stopping an application here or stopping any instance, so there are certain procedures when we stop application, or there are certain procedures when we stop database, right?
Absolutely.
So does that manual stop and start needs to be executed, or when you're stopping this particular instance, the instance itself will understand how to stop database and how to stop application?
No, it will not. It's a hard stop.
So you're abruptly stopping everything then.
Absolutely. So, and we are talking about EC2 here, right? Okay. EC2 is not the best way to manage your databases, by the way. Okay. We will talk about a managed database service later on in the course called RDS, Relational Database Service. With the relational database service, you don't even log into your machine. You will not be able to, because that's a managed service. Okay. What Amazon will give you when you purchase your RDS, okay, what it does is it will take a nightly backup, and then you can specify how frequently after that the snapshots need to be taken. Every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. So you take the backup nightly, and when it takes the nightly backup, it will actually stop it, and your database will not be available for your read or writes. It will stop the database, take the complete backup. Again, the difference between backup and snapshot is you will take the complete backup. You will take the complete copy of it when you take the backup. But the snapshots are incremental. Only the changes will be backed out after that. Okay, so what you described is not a practical scenario is what I'm saying, that's all. That's not the best way to do it. Rather, you want to use the relational database service. But to your very straight question, what happens when you stop the instance here? That's a hard stop.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So this is my original. This is from my copy from server 1, and this is my this is copy from the second guy, right? So let's connect to it. Let's see what's going on here. See this? This is right before, right before taking the snapshot. So what happened? Did we take the snapshot from the wrong guy? So this is the original guy. And let's take a look at connect. I was expecting right after, because it's, let's see whether we made a mistake. Oh, this one is also saying right before. Okay, so it matched. But I changed it right after.
I think you didn't do like you went and quit straight away. You didn't save that file.
Got it. Okay, no worries.
But we did see that the HTML when we opened it in the browser, right?
You are right. That's right. Let's see where we did it. Let's find out. This is the best time to find out. Any other questions meanwhile, while it's coming up?
So I mean, can we enhance? I mean, I don't know whether it's too early for asking this question. Probably prerequisites before we stopping any scripting which we can use to before stopping an instance, stopping database, stopping application, and then go and create a snapshot, and then shut down the system or shut down the system and create a snapshot. Can we automate that?
Can you automate? So what you're saying is, before taking, when you stop it, run a script, right?
Yeah, I mean, so for example, now I want to take a snapshot because automation is kind of very going very rapidly fast in this market right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to go ahead and stop and do everything like this. I want to run a script. Okay, run a script which will take stop database, which will stop application,
mm-hmm.
which will go ahead and stop, which will create a snapshot,
mm-hmm.
which will create an instance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
Copy of that original instance,
yep.
and from the snapshot,
mm-hmm.
and launch the system.
Yes, you will have to write code for that. Probably towards the end of the course, we'll talk about a tool called Cloud Formation template. So there we'll actually automate provisioning the complete infrastructure. You can you can provision 100 EC2 instances, 10 databases, and 5 load balancers, all of that in a single script. And then you just run it. The entire Netflix infrastructure-like thing can be done in minutes. I mean, minutes may be too exaggeration, but less than an hour. Okay. For that, you need there is a concept called AWS Cloud Formation template. Okay. I don't know if we can go to that level for the solutions architect, but I will see towards the end. Okay, Ravi.
Okay. Thank you.
To answer someone's, my own question, right? See, we changed this on the original one, not on the subsequent one, guys. So we changed it on the original one. Okay, that's why it was not copied. So this is where we changed it, but we got the snapshot from this guy, and this is the snapshot of that. Make sense?
So if we go and snapshot that one again,
mm-hmm.
it should automatically pick up, right? The other two.
Absolutely. Actually, what we'll do is, let me do this one. Since we're talking about it, the original guy. So let me create some files here in my home directory, EC2 user, right? So I'll create vi file1.txt. vi file2.txt, etc. Okay. I created 2 files, file1 and file2. You can do that as an exercise. Actually, I don't need to show you that. Create an image. So my third image, you guys do it you can start right now. Let's take some time for you to practice this one. Okay. So let me go to running in, AMIs. This is my third image. Once I'll wait until this is done. And then I'll create a new EC2 instance and I can show you that. But you guys go ahead and start it.
One basic question. Can we set expiry for this snapshot?
These are manually taken snapshots. These are not automatically taken snapshots, right? So, but when you automate the snapshots, like in your RDS case, okay, relation database service, in that case, what you can do is hey, I want only top 10 snapshots, the most recent 10 snapshots to be stored. And the 11th one will automatically be erased. That's how you do it.
So you can only do a retention by doing a retention, right?
Yeah.
So my next question is this here. So instance is cost, storage is cost. Is snapshot, since it's using a storage, is it a cost?
Absolutely. You answered your own question.
So it's a cost.
Snapshot is snapshot uses storage, right?
So then technically, if you're setting up a retention to expire the 11th snapshot, but if you're still sharing 10 snapshots, that means you're paying 10 times of that instance price.
Yes. I mean, you can configure it, right? If you want only 3 snapshots, you can keep it. But you have the cost benefit analysis, right?
Yeah, I agree. Because see, I was thinking like, so I just want to make sure that, at least I'm going in the right path here. So, I mean, when I say this, because what is the real difference between snapshot and a backup? Backup, you can probably take into Glacier or S3 bucket, which is steep storage, rather than having snapshots in the same storage, and it's more expensive.
Before you go any further, backups are full-time backup. Snapshots are incremental. I want you to understand that. Snapshots are incremental in nature, meaning you are not taking, if you have a 10 terabytes hard disk, okay, by taking 10 snapshots, you are not keeping 10 terabytes times 10. You don't have that much. Only the changes will be copied over in the subsequent snapshots. That's the difference between backup and snapshot, right?
Oh, so what you mean is, even if it's an additional snapshot, that's maybe it's showing as a second or third snapshot, but from the storage standpoint, it's only changing that changes, like whatever that 4 GB or what that 2 GB is.
Yep, understand. So take a look at this picture here. Again, snapshots are incremental. We want to put it in our heads like that. Snapshots are incremental. Only the changes since the last snapshot was taken will get copied over. Make sense?
No, yeah, got it, understood.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Venkat, can you create an AMI off of a backup?
Can you take?
Can you create an AMI off of a backup?
Yeah, backup is again. See, the snapshot also. Snapshot is incremental, but your latest snapshot has every piece of.
True.
Okay, every piece of information that can help you create an AMI. Okay. So the backups are actually full-time. There is no concept of backup in this particular perspective. Okay, it is snapshot only here, but I'm talking about some concepts in relational database service where your nightly backups are taken.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Got it. Now, I think to Ravi's point, in terms of automation, the way I see this happening is you deploy an application and immediately you snapshot it, and then that way you don't have a downtime to spin another instance of the application, another instance, right? So the chances of you going in and on a running instance, meddling with it or adding something to it, then having to snapshot to respin another instance, I don't see that happening in a real production environment. Now that everything is automated, your deployment is also automated, right? So as soon as you deploy, you do a snapshot and then you can spin another one. I'm kind of little lost on auto scaling versus spinning another instance of it, using a snapshot.
I don't know if we'll do it today or not, but I'll show you if I can today.
Okay.
I'll explain that. Okay. Auto scaling groups. Anyway, this is my third image, and I can from this image I can launch a brand new one. So you guys can do that. Okay, I don't need to do that. I already did at least few right now. So I want you to take that experiment. Anything else before I let you do that? So is this a logical stopping point for you to, for me to give you the time?
Sure.
Okay. So there is an additional concept I wanted to tell you. It's related to some of the discussions that we are having here. When I spin a new EC2 instance, I want certain pieces of, I want certain things to happen automatically as part of my bootstrapping the EC2 instance. Okay, I can do that, but I don't know if this is the right time. Actually, it doesn't take that much time. So do you guys need a break? Can you guys hold for 10 minutes and then take a logical break? Okay.
Yes, please proceed, Venkat.
Okay. Okay. So I have 3 instances running here. Okay. So now I'm creating a brand new instance, not from image. I'm creating a brand new instance. Configure instance details. I want you to pay attention here. So I'm creating a number of instances, and I don't have any subnet preference, etc. Go all the way down. This is where you have the user data. Mouse over this guy here. You can specify user data to configure an instance or run a configuration script during launch. If you launch more than one instance at a time, the user data is available to all the instances in the reservation. Take a look at this guy. So here you can write a script that will be run as part of your creating your EC2 instance. So what I'm saying is, what have you been doing? After we launch the EC2 instance, we are patching the operating system. We are installing Apache, and we are creating an index.html with a simple hello world. That's what we've been doing, right? I don't need to do anything. And another thing that I'm doing is I'm actually starting the Apache server also, right? I don't want to do any of that. I want to automate it. Yes, you can automate it as part of your instance creation. I will show you how. Go to my website. Go to Unix commands here. I'm not copying it. Take a look at this one here. This is a shell script. Okay, your shebang bin bash, meaning I'm using the bash here. M update -y. By specifying -y, I'm saying that I'm forcing it. Don't ask me yes, no. I'm telling you it is yes. So that's what we are saying. So here I'm doing a security, operating system level patches. And then I'm installing HTTPD, meaning Apache automatically. And then service HTTPD start. I'm starting the Apache server. And then the last command here is that check config HTTPD on. What it means is, if I have to reboot my EC2 instance, make sure my HTTPD, meaning my HTTPD service is on. Meaning, when I have to reboot my instance, you start Apache automatically is what I'm saying here. This is a simple Unix command, check config command. Make sure, this is like your simple, Windows also, when I restart it, certain services will automatically be restarted, right? That's all it's saying. So please keep this on is what we're saying. And then also, finally, what I'm doing is echo. I'm echoing this hello world text into a file called var www.html index.html. All of this is a script, and I'm copying it. You can do the same thing, copy it. and go put it into the user data section of your instance configuration. Control V. Does it make sense? Hello world from, I'll say hello world from script. Okay. Is everyone following? Click add storage. Storage gets added. Here I'll say web server from script. So I don't even need to log into this machine. Sorry, I don't even log into this machine anymore, because once I click on launch, this time it's doing a lot more things. It is creating a brand new instance. After creating the instance, it's going to run my script automatically, meaning it's going to run the operating system level patches. It installs Apache, it runs Apache, and it automatically makes sure Apache is running after I have to reboot. Any questions so far? That's pretty straightforward, right?
Hey, Venkat, can you also create more than one instance while, the way you did just now? You can
absolutely.
Bind more numbers.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. So go ahead and do actions, connect. I'm connecting it. Or actually, without having to connect also. I'll take the public DNS, this guy, and I'll wait for it to be running. I know it's running initialization script, but I'll go ahead and give it a try. Hey, hello world from script. Did you see that? We didn't do anything. We didn't touch that instance.
Venkat?
Yes.
Can we add a repository in that shell script or SVN or Git repository, like Bootstrap or something like that?
Are you saying, can I store it in a Git repository and can I automatically connect to it and get it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, for that you need your CloudFormation template. You'll have to have CloudFormation. With this one, no.
Okay.
So what is the difference between Lambda functions and the CloudFormation template?
They're completely different. They're completely different. I'll probably answer that later.
Okay.
Later, ask me once we stop recording, okay? Because it's probably overwhelming for others.
Sure, sorry.
Okay, no worries. No, I'll answer that. It's they're completely east and west. There's no comparison really. They're two different. Okay, guys, that's all. So let's take 5 minutes break, and then do you want to start everything that we did?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then
hey, Venkat.
Then I'll pick up a brand new topic. We'll talk about application load balancers, and that's a fun topic, very, very important topic. Yes. Let me stop the recording. Go ahead.
Venkat, can we meet at 10?
Can we what?
Can we meet at 10 after the break, like 10 minutes break?
Yeah, absolutely. 10 minutes break is fine. Anyone?
Hey, Venkat, quick question. So within that console, you did a command to have to read, basically to display the content of the index.
Yes, cat.
Oh, cat. Yeah. Okay.
Cat is one way. So go log in here. There are two commands you can use it. Cat var www html index.html. You can use that, or you can use less www html index.html. Yeah, and then if you want to get out of this one, you have to enter Q. If you use less, right? Q is quit it. But this is simple command. Cat is less is more powerful, actually. Okay, so I want you to do it. So we'll meet at 10 o'clock. So after 10 minutes, but I want you to really practice this one. Okay. Let me, hey, do you want me to put it in, what's the best way, guys?
Notes.
Do you want all of this in a single recording or 2 recordings better?
I was about to say that, can you please upload it until, I mean, it would be easier as 2 chunks.
2 chunks? Okay, wonderful. I'll do that. Then I'll have to do a stop recording rather than pause recording. Okay.